Yo, what up, man? Chris, I'm out checking back in, man. Back with the blog, man. Make sure that like button and subscribe anyway, and I appreciate all the support. I'm in Delaware right now. I just left Philly, ironically, that I'm doing this video. I just left Philly. Y'all know I did a video on Papoose's reaction. I had only watched part one of his reaction. That was when he was leading up to running into Eazy at the Chrome 23 event. The other part is even more crazier, and I did not actually have a reaction for that. The stream cut off, so I was just reacting. Obviously it was nighttime and everything like that, so that was kind of the end of that. But now that I've listened to everybody, I watched all the Rem stuff, I watched all the Pap stuff, I saw a couple tweets and stories from Eazy. I saw Rem woke up today, put some stuff on her story. Clarissa woke up today, put some stuff on her story. Papoose's daughter spoke out recently. I heard that. I read that. It hasn't been any videos, but it's been some subliminal stuff, some tweets and deletes, and some story stuff that's going on. Let me give another take on this situation, or just another thought. Now that I've listened to everything, you know what I'm saying. And I want to talk about all three parties when it comes to Eazy, Pap, and Rem. I guess I'll start with Pap. He had a very interesting live, man. Like I said, he went live twice. I felt like it was very damaging. I felt like it was very believable. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to act like I believe everything he said. I do think he put a little extra sazon on it. You know what I'm saying? Put a little extra sauce on it. I don't think... when he says like Rem and Eazy are doing drugs, I'm not gonna go that far. When he says Rem isn't taking care of her daughter and I'm with the daughter, she's not with the daughter, she's out with Eazy. I don't think she's with Eazy all the time, so I won't really go there. What else about the girl from prison that I think he was trying to say that Rem might have a sexual relationship with? I don't know enough about that, so maybe that was a little bit slightly embellished. When he says he pays all the bills and he buys all the gifts and all this kind of stuff, maybe that was slightly embellished. So that might be 30% of his live that I might say, okay, you might have put a little extra sauce on. The majority of his live was very, very telling. And I definitely registered with the part when he was talking about Rem being in jail. I know she was with Fat Joe. I know she was with, she was on a Lean Back song or whatever. And I feel like during that time, I don't think she made enough money probably to hold her through her entire 7 years in prison. So I do feel like Pat probably held her down. He did, like I said, he did drops on the radio for her and try to get artists to kind of look out, going up to the jail, doing different stuff. He talked about the appeal process and how he got a bus and everything and got a lot of her family members to try to go up there to help her win her appeal. So I do feel like during that time, he held her down a lot. And I think that that's probably something that can't be disputed. And I just know personally from being in jail, any little thing that people do for you, man, you're very grateful. You don't have like any outside resources or anything other than like your family. So anytime you can get someone to do stuff for you, and the fact that he was doing it, and she never spoke like he never was doing it when they got out of jail, and she was always appreciative of or talking as if she was appreciative of the things he did while she was in jail. I don't think now that you could kind of poo-poo on that and act like it really wasn't what it was. So I do, whether you feel like he has money or not, at least during that time, the money that he had, it seemed like he was trying to put it in the right place. And I don't care if he put $50 on your books or $50 on the phone or $50 on your commissary or whatever the case may be, it still means something. You ain't got no fucking money. And it's the thing, you can have money and not have access to it. You got to go through a power of attorney and do all, you got to allow people to have access to your accounts and all kind of stuff like that. And it's just a lesson. Like, I think a lot of people don't realize, like, even right now, you have a lot of things in your phone. You have a lot of things on your bank account. You have a lot of things where you may be the only person that know these passwords, the only person that know a lot of different things to get access to you. Like, if you die right now, how could people get access to your money if you didn't give anyone access? Like, if you don't put anybody on a bank account, you don't do anything like that, how can somebody have access to your money? There's something to think about. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you can go to the bank, put people on your account, but you can have it to where they can't actually I guess, withdraw anything, or they can't make like daily stuff done. But in the case of emergency, they can be used as something. It's a whole lot of different things. But you start to realize, man, it's a lot that you can't do when you can't be the person to authorize stuff because you're in jail. So I don't want to minimize that. I think Pap did a lot during that situation. Obviously, he talked about getting out of jail, putting his career on the side a little bit, pushing Rem. Maybe he was the little manager or whatever, pushing her career and trying to get her more out there. But you're married, so I can't look at him like he was some simp or something. Like you married to a person who is more marketable and bigger than you. So that's the way I feel on that. So I feel like with Pap, he's better than me. I don't know how he withstood this situation to stay in this so long. I realized he had kids were involved, marital property involved, but me, just my pride alone, I would have had to bounce. Because he told a story about how he basically knew about Eazy. They went to counseling, and then it was said in counseling, like, okay, after this next event, you're going to be done with Eazy. Like, nah, you're going to be done with Eazy right now. Fuck that Hitman battle and all this kind of stuff. He talked about the Hitman battle. He went there. He wasn't on stage or whatever. He was in the back doing his own thing or whatever. Never was on camera, nothing like that. For you, if that's the case, for you to know a nigga is sleeping with your wife, go to a battle rap event, play the background thinking that, okay, this is the last time my wife is going to be dealing with this Chrome 23 or dealing with Eazy, for you to be able to sit up there and look at him battle Hitman and actually have a great battle, you know what I'm saying? Win the battle, do his thing, get a lot of adulation and love in Philly, like, and not feel like I got to knock this nigga out. I don't really understand. You got a lot more grace and a lot more patience than me. But that's what I'll say about that situation. And that's how I felt about what Pap said. It was very believable. Like I said, he could have put some extra sauce on it, but for the most part, what he said, we're seeing. You know what I'm saying? We're literally seeing it. We know about Eazy. We know about the situation. It doesn't look good. It looks messy. And it's like, where would all of this have been if Rem never came in a battle rap? Like, would you and Pap be going through a divorce right now? That is the Pap angle. Let me talk about Eazy real quick. Obviously Eazy says he's a Muslim. I'm gonna say says because, you know, like I said earlier, people go to jail, they get Muslim for protection, they get out, and they supposed to still be a Muslim and do all the little vows and everything, but they still, you're not supposed to mess with a married woman as a Muslim. That's not, you can Google it, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. So that's already one violation. So you have that situation. Outside of that, I'm not going to sit up here and fault him super crazy for sleeping with a married woman. I'm not, like I said yesterday, I'm not going to act like I can't believe it happened. Like, it happens all the time. That's why there's side niggas, and that's why sometimes women can be married and unhappy and have a side nigga, and guys can be married and unhappy and still fuck around too. It happens a lot. So I'm not gonna act like Eazy is an anomaly, like it only happened with him. It happened with a lot of niggas, and I know some niggas too. I know some people that stepped out on a significant other, and you know, it's something they regret now to the point, but they did it. So it happened. So, and I think, if I'm keeping it real, Rem is attractive. She's a millionaire. Do I think other battle rappers would have took the same advantage? Probably so. They probably would. She was trying to go home with whoever, Jerry West or whoever, like some random ass nigga that she thought, oh, he's kind of nice, he's doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? Do I think they would have knocked her down? Probably so. So as far as that, that's one thing. But I can give Eazy all the credit in terms of, I think he's a great battler. I think he is been on like an amazing run these last 2 years. I know he had some hiccups and all that kind of stuff. I do feel like since he left URL, he's been hated on. I do feel like that. I do feel like Tay-Rock should battle him. I do feel like he's managed to do a good thing with the trenches. I do feel like that. And I feel like one of the biggest reasons why he was hated on from leaving URL is he was successful without the machine. I think that's where the jealousy comes in. We're in a day and age where a lot of battle rappers don't know how to really just take nothing to something. They don't know how to create anything. So the fact that Eazy no matter how he did it, because I know a lot of y'all would be like, oh, he only did it because of Rem, and that may be true. I'm not going to sit up here and act like Eazy could just be booking all these battles without Rem, but at the same time, he still made it happen. And maybe when he left URL, he obviously knew something we didn't know. We kept thinking, oh, what is he going to do now? You're going to have to go back to URL, and they don't want him back. So what is he going to do after the Hitman battle? But he obviously must have known that, hey, I'm sleeping with Rem, and there's going to be many battles after the Hitman battle. And obviously URL never thought this far along in the game he'll still be booking these battles and having these battles, or that Rem would even be in battle rap. So I give him credit for dealing with the adversity and still trying to manage creating a league, having battles, and yeah, he took his lumps and all that kind of stuff, but I never expected him to go undefeated. So from a battle rap standpoint, I still like him as a battle rap. I'm not gonna act. Now, do I feel like there's been some chinks in the armor? Do I feel like some of the things that he says is diminished by things that have happened? You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people look at Eazy like he's a real big liar now. You know what I'm saying? Like, he lied about the Pap stuff for so long. He lied about the 25K on the ground. It's like, it'd be like simple. I ain't gonna say simple, because when you get punched, you might try to feel like you need to lie. But it's just to the point now where it's like you don't like, you don't really know like what he be saying. Like, a lot of times you don't really know. I be hearing a lot of stories, and I listen to it live, and he be saying something totally different, and I be like, that ain't what I heard. You know what I'm saying? So I think you look at Eazy like that. So he definitely took that situation, and that's what hurt him in the Pap thing, because it's like, okay, you got punched by Pap, and then Rem puts out a tweet that says, calm down everybody, nothing happened. That's a lie. Then Eazy lies, and then it's like, okay, now you want us to believe that Pap is a liar when y'all just really been lying from the start. So that's the way I feel about that. As far as what else with Eazy I want to say, because let me think. Obviously, he continues to look bad in this situation still, because, I mean, like, you know, obviously he's with Rem, but, I mean, people are still being like, yo, you're a home wrecker, you're this, you're that. You keep losing battles due to the Remy angle, all kind of stuff like that. And maybe, I don't know if Rem doing these lives was the best thing for her. And I feel like y'all should have just kind of quietly handled this situation, but it hasn't been quiet at all. I looked at the Clarissa interview. Clarissa did speak on Rem. She didn't speak, I don't even think she said her name, but she just basically was like, they got to go through a divorce. I don't feel like she was disrespectful to Rem at all, and I just think it's just a triggering thing for Rem to know that Pap just moved on and so openly talking about it in interviews and stuff like that. I think that's what she didn't like and triggered, because if you notice, he's openly talking about Clarissa, but it's not like she's openly talking about Eazy. She basically said in her live she's single. She's not, you know, we know she's with Eazy because she was damn near in this nigga house the other day doing a stream, but it's not like she's like, yeah, Eazy the block captain is my nigga. Like, she's not claiming this nigga nowhere. She's saying she's single. She's saying she's not dating anybody and all this kind of stuff. So she's not really actively claiming. And when they talked about it on Breakfast Club today, bro, and they talked about Clarissa, Pap, and Rem. When it came to Eazy, it was just like, yeah, old boy she cheated with. Like, they're not even really acknowledging this nigga name. Now, when we get to the audio about the Blackmail stuff, it's very damaging. I believe 100% of the Blackmail stuff, though. You know what I'm saying? I believe that, I had been hearing it anyway, so it's kind of crazy that the audio came out. But I think Eazy, when he got with Rem, you got to think that was his ticket to continue making money in battle rap. Like, let's be real. He didn't have Smack anymore, and RBE was in a lawsuit. Where was he going to get money for battle rap is? So at the end of the day, if Rem pulled the rug from under him, like, yo, I don't want to fuck with you no more, this nigga Pap is on my ass, I'm going back to my husband, and pulled the rug, that was his draw four card. Like, yo, I got these pictures, I got this. And just hearing it on the audio, I'm gonna tell you something, it take a certain kind of nigga to even say that, bro, or even think that. You know how vindictive you gotta be? And that's more like a kind of a female trait. like the whole vindictiveness, like, oh, I'm gonna slash your tires and bust out your windows. You gotta be like very vindictive to be like, oh, I'm on some revenge porn stuff. I'm gonna start leaking this and leaking that. So the fact that he said it, we don't know if he wouldn't have done it. She never left the nigga. So, I mean, it still could be done to this day. It still possibly could be done. But Henny Man put it out first. It was in Henny Man's audio. But Henny Man, you know, it was a long video he did. Maybe the messenger got messed up with the message. Henny Man was talking about so many different things. I don't think the audio got focused on. Maybe we were just more in tune with what Pat was saying than we were what Henny Man was saying. But Henny Man was kind of dropping the fact this audio, that audio that I heard was also part of Henny Man's audio. It's just that it was in such a lengthy video that I think it got lost in the shuffle. But I think that really makes Eazy look bad. Like, do I think he care about Rem? Probably love Rem at this point. Like, probably so. Like, I don't think he's just looking at her like she just a come up. But I do think that if you ask me even now, if Rem woke up today and said, fuck Eazy, I'm out, could he leak that shit? The answer is yes. I do feel like he has it in him. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you look at how he fell out with niggas and all kind of stuff and threw niggas under the bus and had issues with niggas, he could do it. He's just a nigga, bro. Like, that's the only way to describe him. I always say he's a talented battle rapper, but he's very egotistical, he's very arrogant, and he's very self-centered. I always say that. And let's just keep it real. He probably think his shit don't stink because he got with a millionaire. So he probably, you know, Jay Moore, he gotta fucking apologize. It is what it is, and so-and-so this and so-and-so that. Like, he just talks like, yo, I'm on top of the world. And some of that you have to be like that as a battle rapper. You gotta feel like you that nigga. But let's just keep it real. He's probably, when he probably realized that he was going to be getting all these battles with Rem and all this kind of stuff, and I'm going to have all these Philly battles, and I'm going to have all shit lined up for me the way I want to lined up, you get to feeling yourself, bro. Like I said, he was knocking down Zans and shit. like she ain't nobody. And then you, next thing you know, you with a millionaire. So, of course, your head going to fucking get big and explode. So, at the end of the day, that's the crazy thing. If you ask me, could he still leak it even to this day? The answer is yes. Like, I don't think it's not in his character to do it. Yeah, he'll do it. Like, it's an opportunist. When you hear on like the audio, like, oh, Love and Hip Hop, would a nigga go on Love and Hip Hop? Yes. Like, you know, it's kind of telling, because when me and him was beefing, or not really beefing, but just talking shit the other day, or a couple weeks ago, and even just me joking about the stock drop list, he was just like, put me on the stock drop list, promote me more. This attention, as much as he hasn't dealt with it right, I do think he likes it though. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, all this stuff went on yesterday, and he puts out something in the story that says, what does it say? It says, Pap is a liar, and all this nigga do is think of me. That's what he said. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you got a lot of shit going on and your girlfriend is getting ground up in the public, one thing you could do is just fall back. Like, yo, I'm not going to add no fuel to the fire. I'm going to fall back. 48-hour rule, like we talk about a lot in battle rap, maybe because it's some celebrity shit. 96-hour rule. Eventually, JC a battle Verb, and people will be moving on to something else this weekend. But Eazy can't let it go. He got to put out, all this nigga do is think of me. Bro, you fucked his wife, my nigga. Of course the nigga is thinking of you. Like, what the fuck? Then you gonna put this nigga such a liar, as if you didn't tell one of the biggest lies for over a year. It's just dumb shit that he just says and does, and it's just like, you didn't really have to say it. But when the pot gets stirred just a little bit, Eazy can't leave it alone. He can't not touch the pot. You're like a kid. Don't touch the pot hot. He sat there and saw all that stuff going on. It was just Rem, and it was just Pap. It was just Rem, it was just Pap. And then Clarissa, you know, Rem, and it was just Pap. Rem, and even Clarissa wasn't even talking yesterday. He just couldn't put something on his story. He just had to put something on his story. Attention, bro. I think the fact that he was being called a lame, a knockout artist, a side nigga, all this kind of stuff. He so wants to prove he's not a side nigga. Like a part of him, he's even bothered by that. Like, yo, I'm not a side nigga. She been left him. He so want the world to know, no, that's really my girl. That's not I'm not a side nigga. And it's like, you don't gotta say nothing, bro. Like, if Rem could just clarify everything. Rem could do a live and say Eazy is my man, and that clears up everything. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thoughts on Eazy. Eazy just Eazy. Like, this ain't even really about Eazy though, to keep it real with you. Like, Eazy is Eazy. Like, we kind of know who he is. He's a good battle rapper, but sometimes you're gonna get some bullshit from him. He gonna go live, and half of it gonna be a lie, and the other half will be some truth. And like that's who Eazy is. But let me see. Oh, we had Rem. Okay, Rem. This is my thought process on Rem, to keep it real with you. She did that song with Fat Joe, the lean back joint. She got a little notoriety. She eventually gets locked up. She gets locked up she's in her what, late 20s, mid 20s. She gets locked up for 7 years. I think she left like I think she had a kid at the time that she left out here to be taken care of while she was locked up, which Pap probably did too, by the way. Probably helped take care of him. When she got out, man, it was like, I missed so much of my youth. I get out, now I'm like early 30s, mid 30s or something. Here I am, married to Pap, or getting married again. Here I am, about to have a kid. Eventually, they didn't have a kid right away. And it's like, I want to turn up. I want to be able to enjoy the fruits of my labor. I'm a rap star. I'm a person that put out hits. I never got a chance to really tour much and do lean back with Fat Joe. And now I'm doing shows with Fat Joe. It's almost like 30 was the new 20, and she just wanted to live life. And part of living life was doing a bunch of shit that you wouldn't probably do if you was just a married woman. And I think being out and being in them environments, and I think she went and got some of her body done and stuff like that. So a lot of that is just trying to obviously get her sexy back and all this kind of stuff. And she was always nice looking and stuff, but she definitely upgraded and stuff like that. And she probably just fuck with Eazy as a fling, and it just probably grew from there. And maybe her and Pap probably did grow apart. But that's like typical marital stuff in a way. It shouldn't be that way. You should respect your vows. If you didn't want to be with Pap, y'all probably shouldn't have had a daughter, because y'all didn't have a daughter right away. The daughter's only 5, but you've been out of jail for damn near a decade. So for 4 or 5 years, you didn't even have a kid. So if you didn't like Pap when you got out of jail, y'all probably shouldn't have had a daughter. So I get that part. So from a marital vow standpoint, that was wrong. And she was basically trying to say that Pap was unfaithful while she was in jail, messing with his baby mom or something. I don't know. Once you get out, if you accepting them back, if that was true, then you can't throw it in his face now. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure that's what you found out when you first got out of jail. So somehow you excused it. Maybe you gave him a pass because he couldn't sleep with you while you was in prison. So you was like, all right, I gave you a little pussy pass. So now that shit over with, it's just about us. But you can't throw it in his face now if that's true. You know what I'm saying? That's all alleged. I don't like this Pap don't have no money angle. This is what I don't like. I don't like that. First of all, I know Pap helped you while you was in jail. So I know. So there was a time when he had more money than you, at least during that time. And you was in jail for 7 years. You ain't do no short stint. You was in jail for 7 years, and he helped you, with appeals and do all that stuff. So I do feel like that cannot be underscored. Okay, he put his career to a side, push yours, maybe becomes a little manager kind of thing. Y'all making money. Y'all are married. There is no I. All of this, I'm making show money and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. It is no I. That's the problem. Like, I don't even really get how you can carry it in a video like, this is my money, or he pawned this of mine, or he I paid for this. Like, y'all are paying this out of accounts that the courts during a divorce is gonna say this is half of y'all money. So there's no way you gonna be able to leave this divorce and be like, there's a $2.2 million in assets, and you know what, these are my assets. Nah, you all gonna sell the house and split the profits. Or he move out or whatever, you're going to pay him alimony because you're making more money than him. And if he wants alimony, he can get alimony, and he'll probably get it for at least 4 years. And then unless he remarries or marries Clarissa or whatever, that's when the alimony will stop early. He probably will have to pay you child support if you keep the daughter, if y'all go that route. But how is he broke when half of the money is his as well, or a good portion of the money is his? I don't really get that. You know what I'm saying? And clearly y'all was okay with the arrangement, and we're not surprised that you make more money than Pap. You're the bigger star. So that's pretty obvious. The other thing is, if I ask you who has more money, Papoose or Eazy, what would your answer be? Because I would assume it's Pap, because I look at Eazy like, okay, he worked for the Department of Sanitation before, like up until like the K-Shine battle or somewhere around there, and then he started making enough money on URL. He left, stopped doing that, and then he made his money, and then eventually he got with Rem. But you know, battle rap ain't, you know, it's like you get a check here and then you gotta wait a while and then you battle again in the next few months and you might get another check. And it's like, if some of your money or the majority of your money is being paid because Rem is booking you because you're doing events on Chrome, you know what I'm saying? So Rem, the person that's paying you is your girl. So if that's where it's coming from, then I would assume Pap has more money. I'm just assuming that, just based on assets, just based on the fact that he had a record deal before, he maybe done some investments, just on the fact that the TuneCore position or whatever, I would assume that so I'm trying to figure out, to keep carrying him like he's just some broke ass nigga. I'm just like, how is it that Eazy got more money? Like, that's the thing. Like, you're saying that as if you just left the nigga for, like, you know what I'm saying, a Usher or Trey Songz or some nigga that's really like getting 30, 40, $100,000 a show type shit. And I'm looking at him just like, Pap and Eazy could have similar money. You know, they could have similar money. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I didn't really understand that, because I never looked at Eazy like he was really making any real money. I'm not saying he broke, but I'm talking about real money. So I'm not looking at Eazy like he's no millionaire or some nigga that's living in some you know, $500,000. So I'm just like why are you trying to carry it like you just like Pap broke? But I'm like, you kind of dating kind of the same guy, but I would still put Pap even over Eazy monetarily. And I'm just assuming. I don't know what Pap make or what Eazy make. I'm just saying, if you had asked me who I think make more money, I would probably say Pap. But, or just worth more money. I'll say worth more money. I would probably say Pap. But I'm just looking at it, I'm just like, I don't like the carrying Pap like he's just some broke nigga. I just wasn't feeling that. I just wasn't feeling it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was probably one of the main things. So people do grow apart, and you get out of jail, and then you trying to have your sexy back. You trying to, your 30s is a new 20. You back to clubbing. You back to doing after parties and after shows and mini tours with people and all this kind of stuff. And people telling you how sexy you are over and over and over again. And you've been with Pap, like you say, you've been with Pap for like 20 years or something. You knew him 20 years or something like that. And sometimes you can just grow tired of just seeing the same old thing. So now that everybody is clamoring to you because you're Remy Ma, you can kind of be like, you know what? I like this. And that can kind of like create some type of separation as well. So that was just my whole thought on this, man. Hopefully everybody works stuff out. I definitely don't want Chrome 23 to stop. You know what I'm saying? I do feel like there's a few more battles. Maybe we can get the Tay Rock and Eazy. Maybe we can get something Mook and Eazy, twerking Eazy. You know what I'm saying? I do feel like Eazy, this angle is not going to end no time soon, and it shouldn't. Like, there was a time when I probably thought, you know what? If a nigga try to work a whole Rem round, I probably ain't gonna like that shit, or I probably gonna feel like they didn't win a round. I can't really say that when they keep putting new information out there, and they're willing to add fuel to the fire themselves. It's not like they're trying to put the fires out. They will add fuel to the fire, and if you will do that, then I can't really be mad at a battle rapper. You battle twerk and he used it, he just used it, and I like Like, I don't even know how you be winning. You're gonna be winning these battles coming up. To keep it real with you, I think these are just definite L's. I gotta keep it real with you, especially if it's Twerk. I mean, you probably still can beat bum ass Cassidy, but it's just like, for the most part, any nigga that's a talented battle rapper in terms of like one of them niggas right now in battle, these Mooks and these Tay Rocks and these Twerks, and like, nah, these are L's, bro. These are L's at this point, because there's so much new shit Pap gave you, man. You can write a whole round and it be like half the shit ain't even what Suge said. You know what I'm saying? It's like all new shit. And you could walk out on stage with a knockout artist t-shirt, that damn near get a crazy reaction. Take that motherfucker off and then have glass jaw t-shirt underneath that. Take that motherfucker off. Have 2 clean jaws, you know what I'm saying? Take that motherfucker off, have a whole bunch of other stuff, have lame on there. It's like so many, like Pap Live was so like comical to me, bro. Like, it was just comical that it was just, I was just mad that the nigga didn't fight back. Like, he had so many quotables in there that even if half of that shit was made up, it was just still comical to this point. But that's just my thoughts, man. Y'all let me know how y'all feel, where y'all stand, and that's it, man. Holla at your boy.